This week on the Organized Life podcast.
But to answer your question, to come back to the question about fear, yes, your system is in survival. And women, a lot of women are operating in survival. And I want you to think of how hard it is on the body. So hormonal weight gain happened to me. I was like well over 200 pounds before. And the reason why was because my whole body was in survival. I was like, go, go, go. I actually was chopping up an apple for my kids, and the knife went through my hand. And I looked at my hand and said, I don't have time for this. That is how in survival I was, that I I was so disconnected from my body, so numb, that I couldn't even feel this. All I could think was, I don't have time to deal with this.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
No.
Wow. Like that's how off-center, you want to talk about off-center?
Yeah.
That's how off-centered I was.
Hey, and welcome to the Organized Life podcast, where we are creating a movement with powerful organizing strategies and systems that actually save you space, time, energy, and money. I am your host, Tequila Renee, the life organizing strategist, professional organizer, and the owner of Extreme Audacity Organized Solutions. And you guys, I am so excited. We have just launched the Organized Life headquarters. It's a masterclass that will change your life. It's all about how you create the organized life, not just your space. All the things we've been talking about here on the podcast, I have a masterclass that will help you master that thing, okay? So the link is in the bio. The link is in the description. Wherever you need to look, go register for the masterclass. It's very inexpensive, but you'll thank me later, okay? All right, so today I am super excited also because I have my special guest on here today, Natalie. Natalie, first of all, please tell the Organized Life listeners how to pronounce your last name.
Bouchard.
I butchered.
It's French. Bouchard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have never got that. I would have butchered it, and
You could just say Bouchard.
That's probably what I would have said.
That's okay.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Natalie, she is a TEDx speaker, right? She's a former world-class competitive athlete and founder of Harmonize with Life. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. Would you I just told the Organized Life listeners just a little bit about you. Please tell us a little bit more about you and how you got in your field of expertise.
Well, I guess I'd have to share my story.
Let's go. That's the best place to start.
Let's go there because it really shares. A lot of us don't realize it, but my TED Talk was all about human bumps. And I spoke about human bumps actually guides us towards success. We think our goals are guiding us towards success, but actually our human bumps are. And so
I love that.
Right. And it's so sharing my story is a major human bump I went through.
Yeah.
But in the end, on the other side, I recognized something that was so useful, so helpful for thousands of women. And so that's what I want to share and also inspire a lot of people that are in the middle of bumps or crazy things in their lives. They're like, what the frig? Am I off path? And I just want to say, no, you're never off path. You're just going deeper in your path right now. So I remember sitting in my house one night, and the kind of house that's supposed to mean you made it. It was on the water and everything else. I had a glass wall office, you know what I mean? All of the things. Everything looked so beautiful. I mean, the design and everything was like up to par. I know you would have loved it.
Yes.
But I had I had the business, the experience, the life people come to you for advice about. And I was sitting there completely exhausted, not because I had too much to do, but because I was holding everything together, my schedule, my decisions, my relationships. Anybody out there carrying people, carrying things, right? And a lot of us women do. And, even myself. And I remember thinking, why does a life that looks so good feel this heavy?
Mm.
And then within a year, I didn't have to hold it together anymore because it all fell apart.
Uh,
Financially, huge financial scam in my business, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Make like when you're a single mom, that's gonna make you freaking sick to your stomach, right? So I
yes.
had no more access to that. Relationship, well, the relationships will show you who they really are, right?
Yep.
And all of
Yep.
them left. So they weren't there. It was, you know what I mean? So a lot of that ended. And, the things that gave me a sense of stability, which weren't real stability, but a sense of stability were all gone. And
Yeah.
I hit this moment sitting in the dark, so angry, saying, like, I did everything right. Like, I
Yeah.
have, for 10 years, I have spent $700,000, worked with, like, I mean, every mindset, spiritual teacher. You can imagine energetics, quantum physics, ancient wisdom. Like, I have studied it all. I have a
Mm.
PhD in personal development. And I'm
Right.
like, after all of that, this is what I get.
This is what I get.
Yeah, so I was like, "I must be off path." Like, this can't be my path, right? And what I didn't realize at the time was that everything I had built my life around was actually what I was using to stay out of myself. So when it all disappeared, there was nothing left to manage, nothing left to perform, nothing left to organize around. There was just me.
No,
It
you
was
had to sit with
extremely
you.
uncomfortable. Think about it, like, it
Yeah.
was so uncomfortable, there was nothing for me to attach to
Yes.
because it was all gone.
It was gone.
It was gone, and I'm a high achieving woman, so my kids were never, like, centered of my life, and that's not a you know what I mean? That's not a judgment or anything like that on myself or others, it's just that was just the reality,
Yeah.
and so but everything that I had placed in my center and wrote, it was all gone. And you know what I mean? And even the business, can you imagine? Like, I'm a soul alignment teacher. Do you think I was really in the mood to teach people about soul alignment? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So all of the things started to collapse. So, and it was extremely uncomfortable at first because I didn't know how, I didn't know how to be there. I had spent my whole life orienting to everything outside of me. And what's the right decision? What's the best strategy? What should I do next? Even as someone, who was teaching mindset and soul alignment, I had never actually been living from my own center. This is why I
Mm.
talk about returning to center because honestly, it doesn't matter how much personal development growth you're doing. A lot of women don't realize it, but remember when we spoke before this call
Yeah.
and we talked about for thousands of years, have women been able to follow their own inner orientation and stand in their authority?
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
would happen to a woman when she did? So we
Right.
inherited from our ancestors a nervous system, a psyche that
Mhm.
exiled our inner orientation and authority. So I didn't realize that with all my credentials and everything else, I was borrowing intelligence. It wasn't my
Ah.
own. I was borrowing information. I was borrowing orientation. I wasn't following my own. And then I would call that
Mm.
soul alignment. That's not soul alignment,
Wow.
right? Not at all, because actually you don't realize it, but the bumps in your life, when things bump up in your life, like in your health, your love life, um, um, all the areas, business, money, all of the things, life is actually showing you, right? Reality, life, God is in there, not in the meditation or in the prayer, by the way. It is in the bump. God is giving you a message that you're off center. And
Yeah.
I never realized, like, oh, yeah, like things would happen in my life. And I'd be like, okay, let's go learn another designation. Like, can you see? Like, that's why I moved so far off center. I didn't even know
Wow.
who I was anymore. So now that's what I do now because this is the kind of work where I help women reseat their inner authority, probably for the first time in their lineage.
Mhm.
And this is the kind of work I do now. And it's because of that great collapse that I thought I was off centered, that I thought I was doing something wrong, that I thought, not sorry, off center, but I thought I was off path. But no, it
Yeah.
was my path showing me how to return to center and
Yeah.
reseat my authority so I can share other people. And so I hope like that inspires a lot of people if you are like, stuff and shit going on in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Natalie, girl, you just said so much good stuff. One of the biggest things I think, especially with coaches and all people that specialize in helping people, we can sometimes suffer with imposter syndrome, right? We are like, okay, I'm trying to teach these people how to do a thing, but am I really living in the thing I'm trying to teach them to do?
And the imposter is a bump. That feeling inside of you is a bump. Life
Yeah,
showing you that no, you are not centered. You're not
right.
fully embodied. You see what I
And
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I know for sure that all of the what you're calling bumps, all of those trials and tribulations, they make you better. They show you who you really are, like you're talking about, and then allows you an opportunity to pivot and shift, right? And
Mhm.
so that's such a great, like, I love how you call it a bump, like, because that's what it is. It's like a bump, it's a stop in your journey, an opportunity for you to shift, make some changes. Because guess what, girl? If you don't figure it out, you're going to be right back at that same bump,
Yeah.
right?
And
It's
not
up.
only that, like how do we have orientation if we don't follow life? We say we trust life, we say we trust God, we say we
Yeah.
trust, but
Yeah.
then there's a bump and what do? Why? Why am I feeling this way? Something's wrong with
Right.
me. Something no, that's lacking trust. Actually, the bump
Yeah.
is a reorganization. This is I
Yeah.
love the word because I thought you would love reorganization. It's
Yes.
life reorganizing you in that moment and saying, like you
Yeah.
said, hey, stop right here. Yes, it's reality looking like you're looking in the mirror right now. You're seeing your
Mhm.
own reality and
Mhm.
it hurts.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
hurts, right? I had to look and say, you made all those choices with your money. You hired all those people because you did not want to do the work yourself. So, guess what? You're going to attract controlling people, narcissistic people, because you are
Mm.
not in charge of your own life.
Wow.
This is why a lot of women actually attract narcissists. It's not about the narcissistic people and the controlling people, is that we are not fully in charge of our own lives. So we're looking
Gosh.
for people to be in charge of certain things. So I was doing the same thing in with my finances because I was like, I don't want to do money and finances,
Yeah.
And so here I'm hiring people. Well, guess what?
Mm.
Boy, did they ever take care of it. You know what I mean? But those are the
Yes.
choices, those are the bumps where life is like, hey, Natalie, you know what? Are you ready to lead your life or are you going to keep delegating the thing that you're responsible for? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Like we could sit there for a long time, but we're gonna move on just a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing that. Like that, our story actually is what propels us into becoming the person that we are, right? So my journey has led me to this journey of becoming the organized life strategist, helping people get their life organized. Because at one point, I was always physically organized in my space,
Mhm.
but my life was not organized. I was living in what the imposter syndrome. I was hitting bumps. I was overbooking myself. I was
Mm.
trying to be too many things for too many people all over the place. And I realized that it's not about just having your space organized. It's about creating a lifestyle of the organized life, right? And
And
so,
and
yeah,
also, like, if I can add to that, what ends up happening as well, like I said, like for thousands of years, women were not allowed to lead their lives. You have an inner
mm,
orientation and wanted to go in a certain direction, but you feared going in that direction, so you
yeah,
wouldn't. Well, what ends up happening is if we don't follow our inner orientation, we end up, adapting to the environment, to the people around us. And it becomes exhausting. It's like what you said. It's like, okay, I need to be this way with these people. So I'm going to do and be who they need me to be, and then who they need me to be, and then who they
yeah,
need me to be, and then
yeah,
come home to my kids and be. And that's a very fragmented woman. And I'm
yeah.
tired of people calling them multidimensional.
Mm,
They're not multidimensional, they're fragmented, and they're not whole. I need you to
mm,
understand that if you are being one way here and then one way here and then one way with your spouse and then one way at work, You are
Wow.
fragmented. And if you're fragmented, you're not operating whole. That means that's why you can't give 100% power to the things that you're doing, because you're only a part of you's in it. Because the
Ah,
other part of you's in something else and another part of you's in something. Can you see the difference? And I was so
yes.
fragmented. It was beyond, like, I mean, everybody would be like, "You're so different with me
Ah,
compared to them." And I would get insulted. Why?
yes.
A bump, a trigger, a bump inside of
Yes.
me saying, "Hey,
Huh?
Natalie,
Huh?
she's right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are being different." And
Yeah.
that's why, but so that's why I bring this up, because we women are so used to we are so used to organizing ourselves to fit the environment so our nervous system is safe. So we don't know, a lot of us don't know how to lead our lives. And I had to realize that didn't matter all the intelligence I had up here in my mind. I did not, my nervous system, my body did not
Yeah.
know how
Yeah.
to lead my
Yeah.
life because it saw it as a threat.
Yeah. So, Natalie, what do you have to say about like I operated from fear for so long, and I still think there is a level of fear that I operate from because of not leading my own life. Like I make decisions based off of fear. I parented my children for a long time based off of fear and
Mhm.
being a single parent. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, like, well, the thing is that when we are off centered, you're going to, there's a part of you that knows that you're not centered, so you're not safe. So your nervous system, I
Mm,
want you to picture like your nervous system saying, let's say something happens in your life, there's a bump, a challenge of some sort, okay? And then your system immediately will ask, because it's all unified, right? The heart, the cells, everything is one. It works all together. And the entire psyche and system and nervous system is like, who's in charge? Who's leading?
mm,
And you can't pretend this. The system knows right away, no, no one's leading because she's outside of herself. She's looking for,
mm.
she's too busy being outside of herself to
Validation.
figure out what her next step is.
Mm,
She's not inside. So there's no one inside. So the
mm,
nervous system's like, we got to go into survival. I got to
yeah.
lead her. So now this is why women are like, why? And I'm a single mom too. And it's like, why am I attracting these kind of relationships? Why am
Mhm.
I attracting? And those are bumps, right? And life is like, if life can talk to you, it would be like, well, until you're whole, I'm going to send you people that are going to bring you to wholeness,
Mm.
right? Because it's true. It's going to,
It's so true.
it's going, basically, your wounds are attracting your mate. So your nervous system is choosing all your people so that
Mm.
you can come back to center, so that you can come back to homeostasis, to, you know what I mean, to your neutral
Yeah.
environment within yourself. Come back to
Yeah.
yourself. And this is why, like, I mean, I was like, that's why I got bumped into like so bad, because it's like life saying, okay, this woman is stubborn.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
woman spent $700,000, worked with all of the best in the world, and she is still operating outside of herself. What is she? Okay, that's it.
Mm.
We gotta shake things up here. And
Yeah.
so it was the biggest blessing. It was the hardest. I swear, like there were nights where I did not know I could make it. Like
Yes.
literally did not know I could make it
Uh-huh.
because I
Uh-huh.
was like, because the
Yes.
shame, like having built everything that I built, teaching people how to create this, and then it all being gone.
Mhm.
Oh, the shame was like, it made me sick to my stomach. But to
Yes.
answer your question, to come back to the question about fear, yes, your system is in survival. And women, a lot of women are operating in survival. And I want you to think of how hard it is on the body. So, hormonal, weight gain happened to me. I was like well over 200 pounds before. And the reason why was because my whole body was in survival. I was like, go, go, go. I
Mhm.
actually was chopping up an apple for my kids, and the knife went through my hand. And I looked at my hand and said, I don't have time for this. That is how in survival I was, that I couldn't, I was so disconnected from my body, so
Oh,
numb that I couldn't even feel this. All I could think was, I don't have time to deal with this. Can you
wow.
imagine?
No.
Wow. Like that's how off center, you want to talk about off center? That's how
Yeah.
off centered I was. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy. It's
But it's
so
not
true
normal for us
though.
to feel fear like this. Fear
Yeah.
for our kids, fear for every, like I used to fear Oh my God. So I feared so bad that I had to
Mhm.
take driver's ed twice. And it took me till high school, late high school, to learn how to swim in the deep end because I feared water. Like I feared all of the things. And
Mm.
2 years ago, I jumped out of a plane. So I'm just telling you, your fears, once you return to center, your fears are like, they move, not that you're gonna jump out of a plane. The idea is
Right.
that it doesn't your fears don't overwhelm your system anymore. Your
Yeah.
system's out of survival, so it doesn't control you anymore. Now you are an impact in the world. Like, I don't
Mhm.
even feel like I feel excitement. I don't feel fear. I feel like those sort of things. And every so often, though, yes, of course, I will see the fear, but it sits in the back seat.
Right.
It reminds me how far I've come.
Yeah. It doesn't
Yeah.
control you.
Not at all. I can't yeah, it
Yeah.
has not even I see it, but that's about it. Compared to
Yeah.
before, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It had its hand on the steering wheel.
Ugh,
Yeah.
guiding you. Yeah. So, Natalie, when you think about the organized life, what comes to mind?
The organized life, what comes like, to me, organized life needs to start internally. I want you
Mm.
to picture, like, if you look in the mirror and you smile in the mirror does what? Smiles back.
Smile back at you.
Yeah. And if you frown, what happens? Frowns back, right?
Mhm.
And so the life is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And we tend to do this as human beings. Let's say the mirror life is reflecting a frown. Why are you reflecting a frown? Well, I'm just reflecting you. And we get angry about it, resentful about it. But if we can just recognize, if you can use that as an example of how life is, I think we've created a lot of stories. Like our ancestors have invented lots of stories about life. And if we can look at nature, nature doesn't operate like a lot of these stories that were made up. And nature reminds us of the simplicity of life. And
Yes.
many of us don't flow with that energy. We've disconnected from it, that intelligence, right? And so that's what I'm here to like help people return to that, their nature. You're not supernatural. Another thing too, I tried to become supernatural with all my studies and stuff like that, and enlightenment and ascension and everything else. And the one thing I discovered is that no, when you're centered, it's a neutral place. There's no high and low. Think about it. High and low is
Mhm.
duality, right? So centered means neutral, natural. So you come
Yeah.
back to your nature. So it's very natural. So that's why a lot of humans miss this. That a lot of you don't realize that when you do get to your nature, you're awake. You see reality and you're like,
Mhm.
something's wrong with me. No, no, you're awake. Now you thinking something's wrong. Now you're going back asleep. It's just stay
Right.
where you are. You are awake. But can you hold it? Can you stay with it? Or are you like, I need the excitement. I need the thrill. I need the chaos, basically.
Mhm.
And if
Mhm.
we can just recognize that, I just want to kind of add that centeredness, neutralness is actually natural. It's not supernatural. Supernatural is a thing that humans have made up to because we are not seated in our own inner power, inner authority. We seek it
Mhm.
outside of ourselves. You can see that
Yeah.
around the world, right? And then they're
Yeah.
gathering power and stuff like that. And they're trying to be supernatural. They're trying to be above nature. Think about it. Good luck.
Mm.
You're
Yeah.
one with nature. You're not above nature. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's so good. I
Mhm.
talk about that all the time, how what we see on the outside is actually something that's going on the inside of you. So I love that. So you've worked with high achieving women for over 25 years. You've even spent time with Bob Proctor's in his inner circle. From
Yeah.
your perspective, what is the biggest misconception for high performers that they have about success and stability?
Yeah, that's a great question because, the biggest thing is that, they really think that it's a mind thing. They really think, let's have the right mindset. Let's reaffirm my mind. Let's push. Let's make these things happen. And and it's not that those things are not. Of course, they're going to bring success. It's helped me bring success. I mean, it's helped a lot. I became a top athlete, obviously. There
Right.
was all of those sort of things in there. But what people don't realize is that the year that I achieved all the success that I did as an athlete, the first year, second year, that's where it all fell apart. But the first year, it was so easy to show
Mm,
up. And I didn't, because I didn't know what centered was at the time and what authority was, but I had seeded it for that 1 year. And it happened as a bump. I was well over 220 pounds with my pregnancies. I was
mm,
struggling to lose the weight, and then I had 4 prescriptions, health issues. There's all kinds of stuff hitting me with my
right.
body. And what ended up happening after that, I'm like, okay, no, 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 I'm not going down the same path as my parents. You know what I mean? And what ended up happening is that I just kind of let go and I released. I didn't realize how powerful that was. There's a bump. The first thing, life is asking you to let go of something, not to take on. So a lot of successful people think they need to take on more to become successful. No, actually, to become
Mm,
successful is to let go. I think you realize that just like with your
yes,
work. Let
yes,
go. No, let's purge,
yes,
let's clean, let's let it go. So
yeah.
that's what happened. I let go of a lot of patterns. I let go of the way I was being. I was letting go of a lot of things. And then somebody came up to me and said, "You know what? You're like losing weight very quickly and your body is like shaping very differently." And they're like, "Would you like to join a competition?" And so I said yes because I was curious. That's all. I was just curious. I'm like, why not? Let's try it. Never in a million years did I think I was going to win that, then go
Right.
into federal, win that, and then worlds and win that, and then be in all these magazines. And I'm like, whoa, 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 what the frig is going on?
What is happening?
But that's because of the bump. I let go. I started following curiosity because I felt light. I didn't force, I didn't push. I didn't have a goal in my mind that I was gonna become a top athlete. I didn't even think I could become I didn't even think athlete. I just thought,
Right,
"Okay, this is cool, let's try it." Never when I heard them say and refer to me as a professional fitness athlete, I was like, "Wait, what did you just call me?" Like,
right.
I was, like, blown away, but can you see life reorganized things, started moving me in another direction, and it never did that was a goal in my mind. Most high
Yes.
achievers are all about goals, and honestly, you're interfering with life. You're pushing, you're forcing, you're making things happen, whereas when I stopped doing that, that year, everything changed. Now the next year, because I didn't know what was going on, right? The
Mhm,
next year,
mhm.
I was like, "I'm gonna become first."
Right.
And that was a goal. Then I started competing, and guess what? It went woof, crashed everything. I got injured. I tore my QL muscle. All
Uh,
sorts of things happen. Again, off centered, trying to push, force things, not move with life.
yeah.
And so this is what I share with high achievers now. And I'm like, look, you can live any life you want, but yours, the one that you really want. But if you're in your mind and you think that you can't be happy unless you get what your mind wants, that's not who you are. Your mind is not who you are. There's something in
Mm,
your heart that desires. So I became an athlete, it's like it's funny because when I look back as a child, I would do gymnastics. I would spend hours figure skating, gymnastics. Like I was very athletic as a child. So it made sense that when I just let
right.
life reorganize, it's like life is like, here, let me remind you who you really are and what
Mhm.
your the heart of you is pulled towards, and that's when it became very magical. And so now I do the same thing in my business. Like I'm a cohesion architect and people are like, where did you get that? I'm like, life create like that all came through
Yeah,
living life and experiencing life. And now I
yeah.
connect the dots looking backwards and I'm like, of course
Yep.
I'm the human bumps queen, of course
Right.
I'm the one that's going to guide them. I was so off centered and then I found my way back center. Trust me, I can help any woman, you know.
Right, right,
And
right. Yeah.
if it took me that, I'm almost 50 now. If it took me that long, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can help anybody else, but can you see what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely. It brought me to a story of my own where somebody asked me to be in a pageant. Now, I've never done a pageant. I wouldn't think it was like I've never thought about. I have never even been to a pageant.
yeah.
And my friend asked me to be in a pageant with her, and I was like, sure, it sounds fun, right? To do it with you. I'm not just right. And so it was like, I guess it was like a couple of weeks before the pageant because we had been rehearsing and practicing and all the, our lines and questions and all these things. I was like, I think I could probably win this. And so it was just so fun. But guess what? It was the first pageant I ever went to. It was the first pageant I was ever in, and I actually won. And I was just so like, I was blown away by the experience because I would never just say, hey, I want to be in a pageant. I would never
Mhm.
do that. That's nothing that, like, I'm not even interested. Even now, like, I'm leaving at the top. I won. I'm not doing it. But it was so fun, and it was like an out of body experience. And I experienced
Mhm.
myself in a different way, on a different level. I had to speak a little bit differently and walk differently, carry myself differently. And it was a great experience.
Mhm. Exactly, and
Yeah.
it flow like, it's that flow that like, you let life reorganize and you just moved with it. And
Yeah.
so that is what's successful, and if we can just but again, that's why I love to teach, like, the principles around this because when we understand life, then we don't need to rely on faith, and I know a lot of people I did a post about I don't need faith, and somebody's just assumed I meant I didn't believe in God, of course, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "That's
Yeah.
not what I meant by that, is that when your logical mind understands how to participate fully with life and reality,
Mhm. Mhm.
you become a genius on this planet. I'm telling you right now. Like, I tell people, like, Einstein and Thomas Edison, all the geniuses, they knew how to work with reality. Think of scientists. They're like, okay, reality, let me explore this, bring these chemicals together, let's do this experiment. And then reality gives them what? Information, feedback. And
Uh-huh.
then they don't
Uh-huh.
say, oh my God, I need this feedback. I need to heal from this, or something's
Yeah.
wrong with me. No, they get the feedback. And what do? It informs them of the next step and the next
Yes.
step and the next
Yes.
step, and that's what I wanna change with society that I wish I woulda known a long time ago,
Mhm.
because when you live like that, oh, you wanna talk listen, you become like, you won't even call yourself a high achiever anymore because 'cause you'll be like, it just is.
Right.
I'm
Right.
just
Right.
I'm living and things are always opening up for me, new opportunities, things changing. I feel like the word high achiever has a lot of force and tension and
Mm.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
So I'm not that anymore, but my God, I am way more productive and way more
Yeah.
effective
Yeah.
and more in alignment with who I am. And it's so much easier and a lot more fun. Gosh.
I find that very funny that you said, I don't need faith, because a lot of times we're waiting on God and He's waiting on us.
Like I said, mirror. If
Like,
I'm waiting,
you're waiting on
yeah.
God, and he gave you one thing to do, and you still haven't done the thing, right? And what you're talking about is getting that information. When you do the next thing that he told you to do, you get more information, right? And then he gives you more information when you get that
Yeah.
thing. And
And then you get
so,
yeah, and not get insulted by the feedback, the information he gives you.
yeah, so it's just very interesting.
Yeah.
People, they don't like when you say certain things, but
Yeah. And
that's a part of.
I don't see God as like a human, like he or she, but it's like I grew up Catholic, so of course we saw it as a he, you know what I mean?
Right,
But
yeah.
when we look at nature, I don't see it as a she, some people get it's a she.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, no, no, you know what I mean? To me, it's like when I look at nature, that's why I use the word life to stay very neutral because I attract people from all different
yeah.
backgrounds, right? But when we look at nature, you know what I mean? It's homeostasis, it's neutral. And this is really cool that I share, and people are like, oh my God, yes. If you really think about nature, when there's a buildup of energy, what happens after there's a buildup of energy? There's a storm to bring
Mhm,
everything back to
mhm, mhm,
homeostasis. Well, it's the same
mhm.
thing. We're part of nature. So when we create built up energy because we're not centered, just so you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and then, like, a storm comes to what?
yes,
Reorganize things, and if
yes.
we really are honest with ourselves, every time there is a crash in our lives, how do you feel, like, after the chaos, like, after you've freaked out and you become calm again,
Mhm.
part of you is actually grateful. There's a
Yes.
part of you that's like, "You know what? Yeah, I can see why I needed that."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see what I mean? It brought you
Absolutely,
back to center, to homeostasis,
absolutely.
and
Yeah,
that's where power is. We all know
yeah,
it. The neutral person in the room
yeah,
is the one that everybody will rely and trust more, not the person that's very on the high, you know what I mean, and
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
overly pushing and force, you know what I mean, and then the person that's really passive and no,
Yeah,
not either. It's the person that's very neutral, that can s
absolutely.
right? That's the person. There's a reason why, because it's our
Yeah,
nature to be. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so good. So you said something very powerful. You talked about when life destabilizes us. It's not failure, it's repositioning, right? So
Mhm.
can you break down for us what it looks like in the reality? What repositioning actually looks like, and what it looks like in our real life?
Well, here's what I'm going to share about positioning, because obviously, I teach people over like months and months of how like to reposition themselves. But I'm going to
Yeah,
share it. I'm going to break it down in a way that it's like something that your listeners can take away right now. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So if you can look at it, are you positioned one with life? Are you positioned below life? Or are you positioned above life?
Mm,
If you're positioned below life, that is like victim energy. And we've all
okay.
lived it, and especially high achievers. I'm not a victim. I'm like, and I mean, I used to walk into like working with thousands, like I still work with lots of entrepreneurs, but at the time I used to do the one-on-one because I've had clients, entrepreneurial clients for like the last 25 years, right? But before it used to be, wasn't like this. It was one-on-one. And I used to walk in and they'd be like, my numbers are down because of the economy. That's victim energy.
mm,
It's happening to you, right? So you're not one with life in that moment, you're below it, right? So just remember that if you're below life, you're not one with life, you're not getting the intelligence of life. You're not receiving, you're in your stories
yep,
of why
yep.
this is happening to you and blah, 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 blah. So you're not going to get the intelligence. So you're going to stay stuck in that pattern, and you'll see women and they're like, why am I always attracting these same men? Why is this always this way? It's like, because you're below life. Right. And then there's
Yeah,
the above life. And I want to share that one too, because this one is like the gurus you see out there where they're like, follow me because I know better than you. You know what I mean? Or there's a lot of individuals out there that are above life that believe that they know more about you than you know about you.
yeah,
You guys know,
yeah,
you've encountered those ones, very
yeah.
dominating, right? The dominating type individuals, right? There's a submissive under and
Yeah,
dominating above, right? And so that's above life. Well, guess what? That's going to create excess potential. Balance forces are going to come in and it's going to cause a lot of bumps. And a lot of those people that I worked with are like, well, why am I always attracting like these followers like, and no transformation is happening? And I'm like, because they said yes to this agreement, this invisible agreement that you lead their lives and they stay under
mm,
you, so they can't transform their lives until they return to center. If they're going to keep following you and believing you know for them, then they're going to defer their authority, right,
yeah,
to them, so they can't
yeah,
return to center. And then there's the one with life, that position. And that's the powerful position that I use. Like, I'm like, the example is like the scientist. I'm experimenting with life. Things are happening. And I remember when everything fell apart and I was on the phone with my creditors because like my accounts were wiped out. Like there was no
mm,
more money anywhere. So I had to
mm,
call my creditors and be like, "Oh my god." And I remember like what came out of my mouth first. I was behaving below life because I was panicking. And I saw myself in it and I was like, "But I'm a single mom and they did
mhm,
this and I can't believe
mhm.
it." Right? And I'm like, "Whoa." And I saw myself and I stopped and I'm like, "Wait, you're not participating fully with life right now. You're going to defer. You're going to, um, push away the people that are actually here that could really, really help you because
Yeah,
you're victim energy. So what are you going to do in a victim energy is attract what? Not quality people, because quality people are deterred by people that are in victim or above energy. You know what I mean? And so I had to, like, a good thing I noticed it and I started shifting it and I'm like, "No, no, no, no." And what that looks like is like, I know I made the wrong choices when it came to hiring people, and I've learned from my mistake, but I have been working with you all for like 30 years and I've always been on top. If you guys can give me a bit of a grace period here while I reorganize what's going on. You see what I mean? Can you
yeah,
see where I'm
yeah,
like one with
absolutely.
life? And
Yeah,
think of them, they're like, "Of course, they can feel in my energy, I've got
yeah.
it. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna own up to it.
Taking
I'm gonna
responsibility,
take
ownership.
responsibility." Yeah,
Yeah, love that.
exactly. So that's what I would say about positioning. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. What happens when someone they feel externally organized, but they're internally misaligned?
They feel what? Externally organized?
Externally organized, so like their physical space,
Mhm.
but they're internally misaligned.
Well, that's because they're, compensating for being off-centered,
Ah.
so now that's a way for them to try to create control in their lives. Yes, those are the ones that are gonna be control freaks. They're not just control freaks in their external, also with
Mhm.
relationships, friends. We have the same relationship pattern with everything in our lives, just so you know. So, when we look at that and we
Yep,
shift
yep.
it at a life level, that's why I call it life level, then everything reorganizes naturally. So you don't have to change your love life and the way you are with your body or, your home or anything like that. You don't have to change
Mhm.
all those things. Things change naturally. So that's what's happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. We're gonna go ahead and do a little fun thing,
Mm.
Natalie. We're gonna flip the mic. I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you an opportunity to ask me a question about whatever it is that you would like to
I'm
ask.
excited to do this because,
Yes.
oh my God, I would love your advice. Like, I have 2 teenage daughters,
Okay.
17 and 15, and I was organizing their rooms over the weekend, and I was
Mhm.
thinking, like, what could I do to help them, stay organized?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Anybody out there have teenage daughters, teenage kids?
Yes. Teenage kids in general. I have 2 boys. They're not teenagers anymore, but I've been there. Um,
Yeah.
so you're wanting to help them to stay organized.
Yeah, in some way or some sort of
Yeah.
level of
So the first thing I heard you say was that I was organizing my daughters. How
Mhm.
involved were they in the process?
Oh, they weren't even here?
First mistake. First mistake. So what happens when we are working with children? Because I've worked with teens, I've
Mhm.
worked with children. You take the sense of ownership away from them when you do it for them.
Mm.
Right? So they come back, I have this new clean space, but I didn't do it. Remember it like when you were younger, you cleaned the kitchen and you like you better not mess that kitchen up. Right? Cuz I cleaned it. Right?
Mhm.
You better not do that cuz I fixed that. Right? So when I'm working with families, the first thing we do when we're talking to somebody that's not necessarily involved, like a husband, so I'm working with the wife, but we're doing the
Mm.
husband space, we're doing the kid space. What do you want to see here? What would make your room, your space feel good? So having that conversation with them and then scheduling a time when they are
Mhm.
actually there to help do the thing so that they can lead the way.
Yeah, and I guess, like, because the both of them would say, "Well, I'm fine with the way it looks right now."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But it
I
seems like you have a problem with it more than I do because I don't
Uh-huh.
really care that much. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
So we got to figure out what it is that's what's keeping them in that state of just complacency of the mess, right? And you can also say, well, I understand that you like it this way, but I don't like it this way. We have to find a middle ground. So let's have a conversation to where we're both happy. We're both okay with the space that the way that it is.
Mhm.
So you got to get them involved. You got to get their buy-in. And if you don't fully have it, that's okay. But there has to be some consequences. This is the way, like, either you're going to do it or, right, I'm going to do it for you. But there's consequences for that, right? So if you
Mhm.
have like a stubborn child, that's a different type of thing that you have to deal with. But if you can have that conversation and you can get buy-in from them at least half the way, and then there's a compromise, right? It doesn't have to be immaculate, but okay, at least once a week you come in and you clean your room, you straighten it up, right? Or
Mhm.
if it's every 2 weeks, whatever it takes for you guys to be both okay with the compromise, and then you just got to stick to it. Like
Mhm.
they have to schedule the time, and then you have to hold them accountable to what it is that they said that they would do.
Yeah,
And
and
it
start with, like,
takes,
small steps too, right? Not,
yeah,
like, overwhelm them and, like, something small that they can start that habit and then next thing and then next thing and yeah.
absolutely, especially if they haven't been doing it at all, right? You
Mhm.
can't just like, okay, flip
Yeah.
the script completely, right? So
I
you
know.
got to take it a little bit at a time. So getting them involved in the process is so important. It allows for accountability. It allows for them to feel like this is their space. They feel
Mhm.
accomplished. They feel like it's a reward. It's almost like a reward to them.
Mhm.
Um, so you can, I mean, they probably are saying that to be facetious, like I'm okay with the way, because they don't want to do anything. I'm
Yeah.
okay with the way it is. Well, in actual fact, they would like it to look a certain way, be better, but they don't want to do the work. So there's a little bit
Mhm.
of that in there. But
Mhm.
yes, having that conversation. Okay, we have to compromise. Mom is not happy with the way your room looks, smell, feels, none of the things. Okay, I understand that you don't want to do anything and you're pretending like you're okay with it the way that it is, but how can we compromise? Have that conversation, those family meetings that are so important that we need to have. Does that make sense?
Alright. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Teenagers are I have two. They're 20 and 22.
Okay, yeah.
But listen, I don't know that I've ever fully got the buy-in, but there was some compromising, right?
Yeah.
You're doing your laundry on this day. I would go by there. It wasn't the day to clean up, and I'm like, okay, at least get the trash out of here, right? It
Mhm.
wasn't the set day, but like, you know,
Mhm.
come on, okay? So they're teenagers, and you just gotta give them a little bit of leniency, but at the same time, there has to be some discipline because you're teaching them a life skill.
Mhm.
It's not just about right now, it's a life skill.
Mm.
You're
Yeah,
gonna be in a
exactly.
dorm room with somebody and um they're not gonna want to be in the room with you. And I've had it to where the kids that are messy, they go to a dorm room and then realize that the person that they're in the room with is super messier than them. So, it's like,
Well,
oh my
remember we
God.
talked about life bumps, right? Life is like, "Here, let me give you a mirror."
Yeah, so that's it will reflect right back to you. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
also like it's funny because a lot of these things we know, right? It's such a
Yes.
good reminder to
Yes.
recognize that, yes, you know what? Yeah, we can't, we gotta sit down and do these little steps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for someone listening who feels successful on paper but like really unstable in their life, what is like one practical step today that we can start recentering ourselves in our inner authority?
Yeah, so that I really love that. Number 1, it's remembering that life is guiding you right now. And
Mm.
the only and it's guiding you back to center. You don't have to do anything. Life is already doing it.
Ah,
But you need to what you do need to become aware of is that thing that your husband said and it triggered you, that
mm,
is the thing that's gonna bring you back to center. Life is bumping into that moment to release something that you're holding on to that has nothing to do with your husband, by the way. It has nothing
mhm,
to do with your work. It has nothing to do with your health. It has nothing to do with all those things. It's something inside of you that you need to let go. But can you stay with it and say, "Oh, I remember Natalie saying that to return to center is that
mhm,
these things
mhm.
happen and it's frustrating but I'm noticing myself in the pattern." And when you can notice yourself in it, stay with it because the more that you see yourself in it. The
Yeah,
more you're participating in it and the more you're going to let go of it naturally. So example, if I were like raising my voice to my kids, right?
yeah,
And I'm noticing myself in it. So that's a bump, right? And I'm triggered, but they didn't go inside my body and trigger me, did they? No. I triggered
yeah,
myself, okay? So and I'm noticing myself in it and I'm like, "Whoa, your voice is a little loud." And I'm doing this with grace. I'm not putting myself down. I'm not, "Oh my god, Natalie, I can't
mm,
believe you're raising your voice or you're a bad mom," none of that. It's just, "Oh, interesting. I'm
yeah,
raising my voice." And I sometimes won't even interrupt it. I'll keep doing it, but I see myself in it. See,
yes,
we don't realize it, but that is a superpower. only a few, like only they say 2-3% of the population can actually see themselves in the patterns. But if you can see yourself in the pattern with grace, the pattern's already falling apart and you're slowly moving back to center. And so that would be the biggest advice I would give that would help anyone very, very quickly to move back to center.
Yeah. I thought that was my last question, but I have one more.
Go. I love it. I love this.
How can somebody switch from, because I was in survival mode for so long, right? Just really trying to survive. How can somebody switch from survival mode into stability?
Well, and again, the fact that you're trying, like a person that tries to move out of survival is giving power to it. Someone that's trying to stop patterns or giving power to the pattern. Is just to remember you're not centered. That's why your nervous system is in survival. That's it. So again, go back to life is bumping into you and it's asking you to let go. And as you let go and let go and let go and let go and let go, you come back into center with life, with yourself. And then all of a sudden your inner orientation comes back online and your authority comes back online. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I can see where I'm going. I know who I am. I know, because remember, we're talking about position. If my position is with life and I trust life and life's giving me feedback and then I know what to do next, life gives me feedback, I know what to do next. Well, don't you think that you will never, ever, ever need to ask someone else again, where am I going? Who am I? Never. Because you'll be like, I know who I am. I know where I'm going. And because your system knows where you're going, because you're leading your life, it moves out of survival like that. Seriously. The only reason why your nervous system's in survival is because if you guys are honest with yourself, you're questioning who you are, you're questioning your path, you're questioning where you're going, you're questioning. So the nervous system's like, holy shit, she's not in control of her life. So I'm going to move into survival. And then it starts choosing. Yeah, your system starts choosing your partners, your people, your job, everything. Not for your happiness. I'm just going to tell you. Not at all.
That's so good. I'm so glad I got that one more question in.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked it.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much, Natalie. This conversation has been amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've imparted us with so much wisdom and takeaways, and I just really hope the listeners really do that self-awareness, self-reflection, and to see themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to, you can join me in my Bump It Like It's Hot event.
Yeah. So tell us where we can find you, what you're up to, all the things.
Yeah, so I have a free event going on right now. It's called Bump It Like It's Hot. You like it?
Love it.
Because we honestly can live life without any problems. Do you realize that?
No.
You're going to still have challenges. Of course, life is always going to challenge us. But like I said, if you start having a relationship with life where you're the scientist, right? Versus then you're never going to see things as problems anymore. You're going to see it as feedback, right? So now you're living life in a way where you don't have problems anymore because you're living fully. And that's what living fully really looks like. Because if you're always resisting life, then you're not living fully. So I call it Bump It Like It's Hot for that reason. Because now you're bumping life like it's like life happens, right? There's bumps, but you're bumping it like it's hot, right? And so I teach exactly how to return to center in there. And I also teach how life reorganizes and how your natural authority recedes. And so I teach all of that in that free event. It's a free event, so available to everybody. Yeah,
love that. All right, you guys, we'll definitely have the information for you so you can go bump it like it's hot. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you once again for being here, Natalie. To all the Organized Life listeners, remember, if whatever strategy or system you're putting in place is not saving you in all four areas, space, time, energy, and money, you want to tweak it, revisit it, see what's working for you, do more of that, take away what's not working for you, do less of that. All right. If you would like to be a guest here on the Organized Life podcast, send us an email at info@extremeaudacity.com Or if you have a question for me or one of my guests, also send us an email, all right? We'll get you into rotation, your question into rotation. And remember, the Organized Life Masterclass is alive and ready for you guys to participate. I would love to have you and see you there. You can bump it like it's hot, and then you can come over and do the masterclass, all right?
I love that.
All right, Natalie, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And to the Organized Life listeners, we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Awesome. Thank you.